We believe that Mirza was an extremely confused personality, riddled with contradictions and misinformation, misconceptions, misrepresentations, outright lies. Mirza was a combination of all these things. Okay, Mirza would write one thing on one page, on the very next page he would contradict himself directly. We can present multiple examples of that.
Brother Nasir, you know that there is no word of Qadiani in Quran. Is that right?
Brother Nasir, what happened to you? Where are you? Hello? Brother Nasir, are you there?
Okay.
And by the way, he himself is gone. Nobody removed him. He himself is gone.
So
Okay.
Nasir clearly got stuck in this.
Nasir, are you Qadiani?
Yes, I'm Ahmadi Muslim. I
So
wanted
Nasir,
to.
because we're already discussing a point, so we just want to stick with that point. So if you have something to say on this one, please go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. And I've been following the past little while. And
Yeah.
please correct me if I'm wrong. From my understanding of your critique, you are focusing on the words fil haqiqat. And from this, you're deriving that that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salam genuinely thought or perceived or believed that these words, inna anzalnahu qariban min al-Qadian, are actually mentioned in the Holy Quran, as per this ibadat, as per this quotation. Is that a fair summary?
I would say that you give us your perspective. Then shall have a lot of you.
I'm
What's your-
asking you, I want to make sure that I understood you correctly. So yes or no?
We want no, that's fine, no problem. We want to hear you. That what do you think about this passage?
So okay, I think maybe I don't know why you're not answering the question.
No, it's not about answer,
I
brother.
think-
Look, we want to hear from you. It may be the case that we both agree on something. Okay, we just don't need to go, in something we can agree. Okay, we want to listen from you what you have to say.
Okay, so I think that this passage is being misrepresented, honestly. And I think it's being selectively shown as opposed to its entirety. As you know, this is a footnote, and these are maybe 7-8 lines from a longer footnote. And if you're trying to tell the audience or the listeners that this was his genuine belief that these words are found in the Holy Quran, then I think that is an error on your part. And I'm saying this, it could be a genuine error. I'm not saying that you're doing it maliciously or anything like that. It could be because we all can make mistakes. We are insan, we are humans.
Nasir, can you give us your perspective, please?
So my perspective on this would be the same as what Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's perspective was on this, which he has mentioned a few pages before.
Which is what?
So Adnan said, I believe on page 139, this discussion starts on the same book. And on that page, he clearly mentions that Qadian is not mentioned in the Quran, and it's not mentioned in the words. So how can it be that these words are true? He's bringing up the question. He's starting the discussion. So I don't know if you're going to look at page 139 or not, but that's where the discussion starts, and he makes that very clear. Are we going to look at that or no?
Nasir, look at this one. You are more than welcome if you want to go off stage to read all of those pages. What we want to know from you is, in this text, in the light of what you read after all the 4 pages, explain to us this passage.
Okay, no problem.
And if what
in this passage,
let's say what you're saying is true, is this not a direct contradiction? Yes. Is this not?
No. So that's if you were to look at the passage, you would see the entire explanation, which is very clear to me, at least. But even in this passage, if we were to just look at this passage alone and we look at it through your lens, then there are clear problems with your interpretation of it.
Okay. Explain.
For example, so from what my original question was very important for my dialogue here, and if you would answer that for me, it would make it easier for me to really understand.
Let me quickly give you.
From my point of view,
let me give you our perspective on Mirza and his writings. We believe that Mirza was an extremely confused personality, riddled with contradictions and misinformation, misconceptions, misrepresentations, outright lies. Mirza was a combination of all these things. Mirza would write one thing on one page, on the very next page he would contradict himself directly. We can present multiple examples of that. So to say the least, Mirza was the least.
No, right, that wasn't my question.
Yeah,
my question was.
So we're trying to use this against Mirza to show that.
I understand that. My question was specific about this quotation, because you mentioned the words many times.
I'm coming to this quotation.
Okay,
I'm saying
sure.
Mirza is writing here to take his words at face value. He's writing, Fil haqiqat Quran Sharif ke daएं safa mein shayad kareeb nisf ke mauka par yahi ilhami ibarat likhi hai.
Okay.
So these are categorical words. Mirza is saying, in reality, on the right side of the page of the Quran, near half of it, this revelation is stated. Okay. And on top, before he says that, he says that it was read to him, and then he was surprised to hear these words. And then he asked, "Is this really written in the Quran?" And his brother showed it to him, and he saw it, and he says, "Fil hakikat Quran mein ye likha hua hai." In reality, is there. We're just astounded by these words. So you can tell us now what.
No, I think no, I needed that clarification.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. No, I appreciate you clarifying that because I needed to know that clarification in order to make sure that I understood you correctly.
Just one thing, brother. Just one thing, brother. All you are saying repeatedly that there is something in other pages which can explain this passage. My request is, because you know all those other pages, please explain to us this passage in the light of the other pages, please.
Yes, please get
Yeah, so
get the crux. Yes, our concern is this. This is our concern, that Mirza is claiming that these words are in the Quran, and we're saying they're not there.
okay, so I'm your guest here, so I would appreciate some courtesy and some
Yes,
patience.
please. Yes,
And
please.
you're not hot-headed or anything like that. I like to have a dialogue and not monologue. So you have, in this passage, you're explaining that Mirza Ghulam Qadir, his brother, sat beside him and read the Quran to him, correct?
Yeah.
This is the first folly or mistake on your part, I believe.
Okay.
Because when this happened, when this incident occurred, Mirza Ghulam Qadir had already passed away.
Okay.
Okay. Uzala Ham is written in 1891.
Okay.
Mirza Ghulam Qadir passed away in 1883.
Okay.
Okay. So
Mhm.
at the point of this revelation, Mirza Ghulam Qadir has already passed away.
Okay.
Which means that if you are taking this literally, that means that not only is Mirza Ghulam Ahmed saying that these words are in the Quran, but it also means that Mirza Ghulam Qadir has come back to life and is reading the Quran to you.
Fine. Are you saying? Are you
No,
not?
the reason I'm saying this is because you're not looking at the previous pages. So if we're only going to highlight this portion, then this is the big mistake that you've made. And from a historical point of view, I think you're a historian. It's important to make sure that we have that detailed.
Okay.
Okay, Brother Imtiaz, I want to ask Brother
does that
Nasir
mean?
one thing.
Yeah.
Brother Nasir, if you could
Sorry, who's
please
speaking?
tell us if Mirza Ghulam Ahmed knew that in Quran there is no word Qadian, right? What was the purpose stating and writing over here or telling the people that whatever the kashf for this and that, what was in his mind to write these words here?
Yeah. So
This is just to add to Sheikh Saab's words. It is not important as to whether Mirza Ghulam Qadir was actually reading the Quran to him or not. What is important here is that Mirza himself wrote this very passage in an awakened form. He was fully awakened.
What message he wants to convey to the people?
Exactly.
What kind of a message?
He was conscious. He was awake. Obviously, he wrote this, right? Mirza wrote this at some point. So he's documenting this for a reason. What is he trying to achieve? When he says that Makkah, Medina, and Qadian are mentioned in the Quran. And of course, we read that earlier. So that in case you try to misrepresent us or accuse us of not actually understanding the passage itself, because the word kashf is there. The second last word is kashf. Okay. So Mirza himself is writing later on that this is what he was told in kashf. We are saying, on top of this, if when he was writing this, was that writing a kashf or was that writing in reality? Clearly, it was reality. He was physically writing using physical ink, a physical pen, a physical paper, and then it was physically published by the Qadiani Jamaat, and it's still published to this day. What is Mirza trying to do here? And he's saying, "Fil hakikat Quran mein likha hua hai," and he's writing it in a conscious form. I mean, he's fully awake when he's writing this. Correct?
yeah. So I think
when he's when he's writing this in his fully awakened, or when he's fully conscious in that form, when he writes "Fil hakikat Quran Sharif mein likha hua hai," what is he trying to do here? Tell us.
Yeah, so I think let me ask you a question just to clarify as well. You have mentioned that you have quoted a previous portion of this footnote, and I agree with you. You did quote a previous portion of this.
No, not previous. Actually, going down.
I believe it was before this passage.
Nasir, please make your point.
So, am I safe to assume that you have read this entire footnote?
Nasir, can you
Brother Nasir, it's just believe me, playing with the words.
No, I'm not playing with the words.
No, the point is only this. The point is only this one, Brother Nasir. Mirza Ghulam Ahmed knew, as you know, that in Quran there is no such word Qadian, right? Is that right?
But that's what you're claiming. That's what he's saying, right?
Brother Nasir, you know that there is no word of Qadian in Quran. Is that right?
Brother Nasir, what happened to you? Where are you? Hello? Brother Nasir, are you there?
He's trying to find from the Quran.
Are
you trying to open the Quran?
Wait, I'm curious. No, he's not opening the Quran. I think he knows that it's not there. Again, we don't know, but of course, without being
He,
sarcastic.
Okay.
and by the way, he himself is gone. Nobody removed him. He himself
Yeah.
is gone.
So
Okay.
Nasir clearly got stuck in this. He thought he's gonna try to corner us by using these. You haven't read the context. You haven't read the footnote. But again, when we like AK Sheikh Saab, when it comes to the crux of the matter, okay, if you know that the word Qadiani is not in the Quran, clearly Mirza knew this as well. What is he trying to do here?
What he wants to give the message, what he wants to say
What
about this.
exactly?
As Brother Adnan told him in the beginning, in his opening statement, that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, a confused person, completely lost, and he wants to confuse the others. Believe me, his all books, there is a repetition and all these things. Brother Imtiaz, you have a lot of, and Brother Adnan, about Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, that he says that Allah never let me, if I'm on some misunderstanding or some mistake, Allah not let me for a shorter time to be on that, and he cleared me, right?
On error.
Now I give you one thing, please keep in your presentations, the next one, that in Khutbah al-Hamiyah, there is one sentence in Khutbah al-Hamiyah. He says, और सचमुच मेरा रब मेरे साथ है बचपन से लेकर मेरी लाहत तक. Now, the MDs normally say, oh, Mirza Sahib, when they said that there is no Nabi, or when he was believing that Hazrat Isa was alive, when Allah told him, when Allah guided him, he changed, right? Here he's claiming that from my birth to the graveyard, Allah is with me. Now, the Arabic is this one. Wa inna rabbi mai ila yawmin lahdi wa min yawmin mahad. वो बंदा खुदा जब वो पैदाइश से लेके कब्र तक उसके साथ है, तो आप लोग कह रहे हो कि वो जब अल्लाह ने उसे ठीक कर दिया, अल्लाह ने तो बचपन उसके साथ है, फिर अल्लाह क्यों नहीं उसको ठीक करता रहा बचपन से ही?
Absolutely. Or these questions are very important. You can't just have your cake and eat it, as they say here. You can't claim one thing.
They are playing words, to be honest. They are playing.
And Sheikh Saab, for almost for 15 minutes, he was just saying there is something on other pages. I said, look, you read all the 10 pages. Tell us what this passage is saying.
No, look, we know that Mirza writes one thing on one page and he contradicts it on the next page. And then he says something new on the third page. And then he has something else on the fourth page.
He always keeps the back door open where he have to run away.